Let's take it over to weather. I want to start you off with some of the snowfall reports that we have seen. Updated a couple of these numbers from last night, but definitely some pretty impressive amounts, especially up near Dubuque, getting about a foot of snow. Here in Moline, getting just around 9 inches of snow total for that snowstorm. And that is more snow than we saw total for our winter amount last year. So that's crazy that we saw that in all one round. But again, very impressive amounts across the area. Pretty much ranging as far south as Burlington to Dubuque, anywhere from 8 to basically 12 inches. Maybe a couple of areas have picked up a couple of inches even higher than that. But definitely seeing some windy conditions out there. That's why we're keeping this weather impact alert in place for us for this morning. We're seeing some road conditions improve, especially along and south of I-80, where you are starting to see a little bit more of that blue begin to creep in. But if you can push off any travel until later on today, that's when roads will start to improve a lot better, because this morning we're seeing some gusty winds, and that can account for maybe some blowing snow. So even as those road crews are working, still could see your roads kind of get covered right back up, even as they pass over with that wind. So the winds are up to around 25 to 35 miles per hour. Luckily, though, the windiest part of the day is happening right now. It should calm down as we head through the afternoon. Regardless, though, those winds are keeping us very cool this morning. 22 degrees out the door, but it feels like the single digits as you factor in those winds. Again, a look at the I-74 bridge. Looks pretty good, but still those bridges and overpasses can be some of the diciest to travel over, because they can cause, there's a lot cooler air underneath them. They don't have much insulation. So it can cause for some pretty slick conditions on those as well. Regardless, though, the good news is we should stay fairly dry through the afternoon. We're not going to see any additional snowfall, maybe a couple flurries here and there, but we're not going to accumulate any more on top of what we're seeing for today. That's going to change tomorrow, though, as we do see an active alert for today. It is going to expire at noon, but the National Weather Service did expire our winter storm warning just after midnight, and then issued a winter weather advisory for areas along and north of I-80 until noon for that blowing snow. So again, roads will still be covered at times for today, as those gusts will continue to be pretty high through the morning. But you can see by the afternoon, that's when we're going to start to see things calm down, especially by the evening. We're going to look a lot better. So this should give crews a really good day, a really good afternoon to clear off those roads. Even heading into tonight, we're going to stay dry. So your morning commute should be pretty good for the start of the new work week. Highs today are only going to be in the upper 20s. I know still below freezing, but still warm enough for road treatments and sidewalk treatments to work nicely for us. So that'll be good news too. As we head into tonight, it's still going to be cloudy, but cooler for sure. We still stay locked underneath this northerly flow. Winds luckily not going to be as strong tonight, but still keeping us locked into that cold air mass. We'll only see temperatures in the teens and likely once again wind chills in the single digits tomorrow morning. As we look at Monday, though, we'll see a very similar day in terms of highs, with us getting back into the upper 20s. But then we're going to watch for our next snow system by Monday afternoon. Creeping in from the south, Burlington, Macomb area could see snow as early as just after the noon hour. And then that filters into the north as we head through the afternoon. So your evening commute for tomorrow is where you might want to watch out a little bit more for. Allow that extra time. Take it easy. We could see those roads covered, especially along and south of I-80 for that evening commute. Looks like the northern hometown's not going to see as much as south, especially as we look at the snow tracker. Yeah, there is going to be some additional accumulation possible. Luckily, not what we saw yesterday, adding on maybe as high as 1 to maybe 3 inches of snow, and that 3-inch potential is more so towards Macomb to Peoria. I think most of us are going to be within just a half of an inch as far north to maybe as high as 2 inches to our south near Burlington. So we'll watch that closely, but again, kind of seems not too concerning compared to what we just got yesterday. But then we're going to dry skies out for most of the week. Could see a couple flurries here and there, but that snow-packed ground is definitely going to keep us under that chilly air mass, as highs are only going to be in the teens and as high as the low 30s for the first week of December. Good morning.